Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dairy Aisle.
You almost have like an announcer voice.
I tried.
For like a stadium.
I tried. So it's me, your host, Eli. I'm back again with the handsomest co-host in the business,
Sergio. God damn it.
Every
Fuck
time.
that up every time. James. My name is James. Fuck. Yeah, I'll get it one day. Don't worry.
One day. We'll see how many different names you fuck up.
A lot.
So, welcome, by the way. I know you had to drive quite a way to get here today.
I did. I drove from the beach, but I would drive 100 miles. 200 miles.
That's pretty far, dude.
Just to record.
But not 1,000.
With you. No, not 1,000.
That's way too many.
No, but I would walk 500.
You can leave now.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a weekend already.
It has. So, well, we're gonna start as always. We're gonna start with announcements.
Ooh, housekeeping.
Yep. So, first big thing, folks, is we now have a Patreon page. So, if you have some loose change around the house, or you have a slightly nicer bank account than the rest of us, and you'd like to give us money to do cool shit, and you get cool shit in turn, you can go visit our Patreon page. You can find us at patreon.com/the Dairy Aisle Podcast. All right. So what we've done is I sat down with our producer and we set up 4 different tiers.
And by the way, none of this is totally set in stone.
Yeah, we can change stuff.
This is good. Obviously, this is very new, very fresh.
Right.
So we're experimenting as we go. We're seeing what works best, what tiers are good, what people want to see, what they want. So
exactly.
Just to let you guys know. But yeah, go with the tiers.
So the tiers are going to be $1, $3, $5, and $10. They're all going to have their own stuff. You can read more about what the tiers offer on the actual Patreon page. They have names. So the first one, the $1 tier, is called Street Vendors. The $3 tier is the Fruit Stand. The $5 tier is the General Store. And the $10 tier is the Supermarket.
And just to clarify, the Fruit Stand is not a gay brothel.
It's not.
It is a tier.
Although,
on our Patreon.
If we ever decide to open up our own gay brothel.
Oh, it's called the Fruit Stand.
Yeah, 100%. Other than that, I don't think. I mean, I'm just checking our notes.
No. Just one more thing about the Patreon.
Yes,
it is really important. Not that we need your money. We love just your viewership.
And absolutely.
And your listens is amazing. And just honestly, reviewing us on iTunes. And maybe even Spotify, if you could be so magnanimous.
Does Spotify allow reviews?
I think so.
I've never actually reviewed anything on Spotify.
They do.
Really? Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least like a star. I think you get a rating.
Well, another big announcement. It's been something that I've been talking about with the producer. We're looking at maybe moving to SoundCloud because just generally a bigger audience.
Just eyes, yeah.
Right. And that's really what we want. We also want to make it convenient for a lot of our listeners because I'm sure that a portion of them probably listen to stuff on SoundCloud already.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be able to give them the opportunity to sort of centralize all their listening in 1 or 2 places instead of having to listen to us across 4 or 5 different platforms on more than one device because that can be annoying.
And now with the death of iTunes and the emergence of whatever Apple does for podcasts.
Which I heard that they're actually going to be replacing iTunes now and they're going to basically split it so you'll have Apple Music and then they're going to have Apple Podcasts.
Oh, sweet.
And the podcast will be like its own. You know how like on iPhones you guys have like Apple. The podcast app?
Yeah.
So that's going to become like a new thing where it's going to be apparently you can search by name, you can search by tag.
And it'll only bring up podcasts.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a podcast only.
Yeah. Oh, so we will be giving you guys more information about what's happening with that.
Yeah.
Any changes you might need to make. I'm hoping Apple makes it really easy and like the end user doesn't really need to do anything.
I hope
I'm hoping it's all like, behind the scenes.
Right.
Workarounds.
Also, now that we're talking about Apple, which we're going to come back to this, a $1,000 monitor stand. You heard about this, right?
What?
Oh, we're going to talk about this.
Okay, we'll talk about this in the episode. But are there any other announcements?
No, other than just keep in mind that from now on, guys, we're going to be putting some work into our show notes so that if you want more information on some of the stuff that we make in the announcements, go ahead and just visit the show notes after you listen to the episode. A lot of times, if there's something important, we'll add links. Other times, it'll just be general info for you to read in case you heard something in the episode you want to reference what the fuck it is we were talking about. It's going to be in there.
And I'm sorry if you get sick of us telling you, follow us on Instagram and social media. Yeah. Review us on iTunes while it's still live. And if you are so generous and you really do like what we do and you want to support us in a more, integral way, go to Patreon
Right.
and sign up as a patron. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just going to be just shamelessly plugging. Just plugging so hard.
Yeah. I mean, it'll eventually get to the point where we don't have to anymore, because I'm hoping that eventually we get a large enough listener base that everybody just kind of knows, like, oh yeah, you can. They have a Patreon page. Look at them on social media, and that's it.
But this is very grassroots, so
yeah, we're just trying to grow. Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, that's I think that's it for announcements. Is there anything else?
Well, actually, very important. This is part of the Patreon thing. We have two Patreons
two patrons.
Patrons, sorry.
Two Patreons. Oh, what?
we have now two Patreon pages.
Oh God.
We're really covering a lot of ground here. Yeah. No, we actually have two patrons that subscribed. Which
shout out time.
Thank you. I didn't think it would happen that fast. I'm also blown away by the fact that a hobby that you and I got into just for fun and for catharsis actually produced a financial return.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a one-time thing probably. I'm not expecting them to do this every month because that's a hell of a commitment. But the fact that somebody wanted to give us money because they liked what we're doing and they want to help us out, that feels amazing. So I'm going to start with the first of the Patreon shout-outs, which this is going to change, obviously, over time. Like, we're going to get better at doing this.
And I'm sure, if we get more patrons, right, knock on wood, we'll have, a tier where you can be, a producer that gets shouted out, every month or whatever it is.
Or we'll just do special Patreon episodes, short little snippets where we do, a 15 or 20-minute thing where we just, it's like a Patreon
I want to have,
thing.
I want to have a tier where it's,
we'll have it.
The episode is for that Patreon tier
we'll have
exclusive
episodes.
Yeah. But shout them out.
So the first person I'm shouting out, this lady is awesome. She's super duper important. Mainly because she helped me and Millie buy our first house.
Ooh, buy the house.
This is one of our good friends who was our friend before she was our realtor.
Close friend.
This is a shout out to our friend Joey. She is probably one of the most, I'd say, supportive people that I've met in terms of when you tell them you want to do something, they're like, yeah, no excuses, go fucking do it. Why are you even talking to me about it? Why aren't you doing the thing?
It's good peeps right there.
Yeah, and she was probably one of the first people that I told that we had set up a Patreon page, and just talking shit, just oh yeah, that's where we're at with the podcast now. We're making some progress, we're having a lot of fun doing it, and the next day I get an email from Patreon saying, hey, you have a patron, somebody gave you money, and I was like, who the fuck? What? Only
was it Spider ZZ?
Yeah, they're back. My God,
my guy.
And so I look, and it's Joey, and I was like, oh, shit, son. That's it.
Accountability, baby. Now we got to do it.
Yeah, no.
Because we're doing it for the Joeys of the world.
That's it. Yeah, she's the best. Joey, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you will be, thank you so much, girl. I love you. That was huge of you to do that.
Yeah, I don't know you, but I very much appreciate you.
If you ever need to buy a house, though. Yeah.
Call Joey.
Seriously.
And then who's the other patron?
And the other patron is... If you remember the last episode.
I do, I think.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I've been drunk since then.
Basically, just nonstop. I've had alcohol poisoning continuously since last week.
I'm pretty sure I have 5 brain cells left. And they're all...
And down to 4.
They're all...
So this is the person that we shouted out last episode. Big props to our girl Gaby up in Orlando.
Ooh, girl Gaby
Basically our number one super fan.
Super fan.
So she also donated. And
donations.
This is part of the Patreon subscription that they have, the $10, the supermarket tier.
Yeah.
So this is part 1 where they get a live shout out, on the episode.
Already making good on our promises.
Exactly.
Look at us, good boys.
Real value.
Good boys, good podcasty boys.
The best boys. So there will be more to come, obviously, for the $10 tier. Like I said at the top of the show, if you guys want more information on those tiers and what they include, you can just check out our show notes. There'll be a link to the Patreon page there. On top of that, keep in mind that those tiers are going to change over time as we get better at this. They're going to be a little fluid, so we're going to add probably some stuff, maybe take away some other things, but nothing is ever going to be detracted. It'll just be replaced.
Yeah, and we'll
if
always
I remove one thing, I'm going to replace it with another.
And we're always going to either send out like an email, or we're going to just make an announcement on the show to let you know that that is going to happen, right? Yeah. We're never going to tell you that what happened. We're going to tell you what's going to happen. So that way you're never surprised.
Right.
And also, like, transparency is really important with us too. So, like, we always want to let you guys know what's happening, what's going on.
Of course.
But yeah, thank you, Joey. Thank you, Gabby.
You guys are
the best. The fucking best, and you will always be the first.
No, yeah, they're going down in history. Patrons. They're the first patrons ever in the history of our show.
When there's a statue of us,
we're going to have 2 equally but slightly smaller statues in the background connected to our statues through a series of intricate tunnels and lighting systems.
Yes.
So that when we come to power and our people come to us and bow before our statues, they will also have to bow for a slightly smaller amount of time at the statues of our 2 patrons.
Of course, yes. Always showing respect in a slightly smaller way.
To the ones that came before them.
Yes.
Good.
Well,
so that's it for announcements.
Now that that's done.
Now we can get to the silly shit.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? So this episode's going to be a little bit nerdier.
Just a bit.
Just a touch. It is a special week. It's a slightly less special week because Sony decided that they really don't have a presence this year. And I get it. They're not really like launching anything big, but it is still the magical, fantastical E3.
E3, baby.
Oh, Electronic Expo. So,
it's going to be dope.
How are your feelings about E3 this year? Because personally, I'm not as hype.
I'm not as hype either.
Because of the lack of Sony presence, right?
I think it's going to be... I think it'll be more... How can I put this? I think it'll be more of an actual like developers conference. In that... Because so many of the giants are missing because they're going to go do their own conference instead.
Well, did Xbox already do theirs? Did Microsoft already have their...
I think they did. I think they premiered like it was like a 13-minute gameplay trailer for the new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen the video for it.
Which I saw some of it and I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed.
Oh, really?
It looks, I don't know, man. Do you remember back in I think it was PS2, The Force Awakens? Was it The Force Awakens?
Wait,
no.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
That old Star Wars game where you played as Star Killer, the guy that dual-wielded.
That's Force Awakens.
Right, okay. So that gameplay, I think it was Force Awakens.
No, that's the movie.
That's a movie, sorry. What was this one called?
What was the game called?
We're going to find out.
Oh, my God. Why are we
Consult the internet.
God, we're bad gamers.
But that gameplay looked... and felt more fluid to me than what I saw these people showing at E3, which I think they showed it at E3.
It might be, but was it like alpha footage?
It was sort of alpha footage, but the game drops in like 4 months. This should be beta, like at best.
The Force Unleashed.
The Force Unleashed, that's what it was. We had some
It wasn't
of the
Awakened.
Words. We had 2 of the 3 words that we needed.
Yeah.
We had the and Force.
I mean, that's every title.
That's every Star Wars like, something.
Force, the...
Exactly.
You all know.
But I don't know. It was sort of underwhelming. It looks sort of pretty, but I've kind of always wanted it to be like, dude, if I'm wielding a lightsaber, like this needs to be like a one-hit kill on just about everything.
Microsoft is at 1 p.m. Pacific.
So
it's 4 p.m. Eastern.
Here, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so Fallen Order I think was at EA. I think they showed it at EA.
Yes, yeah. But I don't know. Like I'm psyched that they're coming out with a new Star Wars game, but
and it's Respawn.
Yeah.
It's Titanfall.
But I don't know. I don't know. I want it like I said, if I'm going to be a Jedi in a video game, I want there to be like how can I put this? If I'm fighting like stormtroopers or like dudes from the First Order or whatever, I want to be able to like pew 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 like deflect, like the stupid like the plasma laser shots that they have. I want to deflect it back at them or like force push the shots back at them.
Also play the Force Unleashed.
Right, but if I hit them with a lightsaber, it should be like a one-hit kill because I'm a fucking Jedi. However, hear me out. If I encounter somebody like maybe an Imperial Guard, like the dudes in red.
Yeah, okay, so now it's a harder fight.
Right, like to the point where like, okay, you're probably, and I'm about to get real nerdy on y'all. If you've got like a staff, let's say made of like, I don't know, vibranium or something like that.
A vibro sword?
Right, or a vibro sword or a staff.
Yes.
maybe if it's got some sort of like an electronic force field around it, it should be able to withstand like a lightsaber strike.
Vibro weapons can.
Right, they can.
Because they vibrate at the same frequency as a lightsaber.
Right, the crystal, right. So them hitting each other should sort of be like, okay, now I've got a duel on my hands now.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like to the point where like it's kind of almost like Spider-Man or like the Batman games where like I have to learn combos in order to work my way around this enemy so that it looks good and that it also produces results. Not just like I'm going to keep hacking and slashing until I like knock your life bar down.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily want but here's the problem. That's the problem with being a Jedi in a Star Wars game. Is that like it's the balancing issue of like you're a space wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
With a fucking laser sword, and no one else is a space wizard with a laser sword.
Unless you fight the Sith.
Unless you're fighting a Sith. But if you just make it a guy or a girl in this world that's not a space wizard, you can do a lot more with it because now you're not overpowered. Like, you know, and like throughout the story, you can get more. That's why I love Knights of the Old Republic. You should become
a space wizard over time.
It's why I love Knights of the Old Republic. You start out with a fucking vibro sword, and you're just like, kind of
blaster,
and you're figuring it out, and then over time, you figure out, you know.
Yeah, at the end of the game, you're now, you're space wizard.
Alert.
Spoiler, fucking 25,000 years later.
5 years later. But yeah, so I haven't watched that video, but it looks pretty.
It looked good. The lighting was really good. The environment,
I'm excited about it.
The environment looks like very, it looks very Star Warsy, but not in like. It doesn't look like they're like we're just gonna take screenshots from the movies that just came out and then digitize them to make them look like a video game. It looks like they created their own world, but using the same motifs from the movies.
Okay, so it's not like Battlefront, where it's basically a carbon copy in CG.
No. This has its own world.
Okay, nice.
Although strangely enough, the main character sort of looks like that weird redheaded Indian-looking guy from Riverdale. The guy who plays Archie.
Oh, yes.
He looks just like him. I don't know if that's who they're using, but dude, he looks just like him.
Does his body look Photoshop too?
No, because he's wearing like he's got like a Jedi turtleneck and shit, and he's got like a fucking, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a priest turtleneck, but without the little white piece.
And then comes out the fucking But
also, you are a Jedi in this game.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're a Jedi.
Oh, well.
But I don't know anything about the story. I don't know anything about how long the game is, or if there's going to be DLC for it.
Oh, so they didn't talk about any of that?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that they didn't talk about it or that it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it.
I'm excited to see. Personally, I'm excited. Besides Star Wars, that's the only EA thing I was excited about was Star Wars Fallen Order. They don't really have anything else that I care about. Like, I'm not a sports game guy. I'm not a racing game guy. I also am not like a Battlefront guy. I don't know if they're coming out with another like.
I wouldn't care.
Or Battlefield or whatever. I'm excited to see what Xbox does because I want to see, are they going to talk about a new console? Are they going to talk about I don't know what exclusives they could possibly have.
I've heard two things about the next upcoming Xbox. I've heard of something called
what's the
Scarlet?
Scarlet is the code name for it.
Yeah, it's like that their working title for it. And then I heard something about something that Microsoft is doing called Azure. I know they have something.
Oh, the Azure Cloud.
Right. I know they have something currently that exists. But I'm interested to see if and how that would work with the next gen Xbox.
So
what Microsoft is going to do to push back Sony and be like, hey, we can do just as good.
Well, here's what so the Azure Cloud system, I think, was first talked about in regards to Crackdown 3, right? So when Crackdown 3 was first really shown, they were talking about online gameplay is going to be this kind of new environmentally encompassing gameplay where like because you're going to have cloud processing which obviously increases the processing power of your system, you're going to be able to have like these massive environmental destructions and like buildings are going to come down because you're this super powered person fighting this thing. Right. And I don't think that really panned out that great, and Crackdown 3 wasn't really that good, and I think it went through a lot of development hell, but that was the first time I had heard of it. So I think Microsoft is going more toward the cloud gaming side of things, just like the Google Stadia.
Yes.
Which I think is going to flop. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I don't know why you would ever. Yeah, it's weird because there's so many parts of the country that like don't get the necessary bandwidth.
At all.
Yeah.
How's that going to work to them?
Exactly. I can understand if you live in San Francisco or Miami or New York, like okay, but if you're living in fucking, rural Idaho, like you're not gonna, So, I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm excited to see what they talk about exclusive-wise, because I don't know if they're going to have any. I'm excited to see if they talk about their partnership with Nintendo.
That should be interesting.
Which should be interesting. But other than that, like, I don't care about Xbox exclusives.
I don't. The thing is
like,
that,
I
like,
haven't cared.
When I last had an Xbox One,
yeah,
I only ever played Forza Horizon on it. Like the last Forza Horizon that came out.
Dude, you didn't play Forza Horizon. You lived Forza
Horizon.
Forza
Horizon. Shut up.
I saw your fucking garage.
Shut up. But
looking like Dan Blazarian.
I wish. But yeah, like that's all I ever played on it. I think I maybe played like. Honestly, I'm trying to think back, and I really believe that I only ever played Forza Horizon on that. I had a $400 Forza Horizon machine.
Dude, my cousin has a $400 fucking TV machine. It's like a Netflix box.
Which is like, that's the other thing that hold on, before I go there. I sold my Xbox to help fund my Xbox One to help fund the down payment on my house.
Wow.
That's how much I didn't use it anymore. That I was like, this is a thing I can do. I sold it to some lady like right before Christmas time. Like when I say right before Christmas, I think like the first week of December.
Oh wow!
I sold it to her for her son because she's like she legit told me, she's like, I can't afford like a brand new one, and I think I sold her everything for like, I think it was like $300, and it was like 2 controllers, a bunch of games, the console, everything still in box with all the manuals and everything, an extra HDMI cord, like everything for like $300.
Wow, what a sweet boy you are.
Yeah. Listen,
Merry Christmas.
Life is tough. The only way we get through it is together.
That's right.
Fuck it.
That's right.
But I don't miss it. I miss my old Xbox 360, which I still have and it still works. But I miss like the days of like playing like Forza Motorsport 4 and 3 with my friends until 3 a.m.
Yeah. And
that's the only thing that I really miss about the Xbox. But the only reason I think that the Xbox did worse than the PS4 is, and I've said this a million times and I'll stick to it. Microsoft tried to have a console that did a lot of things, and it did them marginally okay. It did them all right. PlayStation did a few things, but it did them excellently. Yeah. Each and every single one of them. The Xbox tried to be an everything machine. It tried to be an entertainment center, like, all in one. And not a lot of people use it. And also, guys, fucking smart TVs. Do you know how much electricity of fucking having your TV on and your Xbox draws at the same time? Like, why not just turn on my TV and put on Netflix?
Not to mention, like, you don't need it.
Of course you don't.
You don't need it to be that part of your your entertainment experience. Also, they made the same mistake that PlayStation made with the consoles in the previous generation with 360 and PS3. You got away from gaming, and then you made the console really expensive.
Yeah, you made the world's cheapest Blu-ray player.
Not to mention you had the debacle with like the always online, where it's like if you weren't online, you were fucked. And it's like, so you're alienating people who don't have good enough internet. You're alienating people who can't, who really can't afford your console. You're alienating gamers because you're talking about everything that's not games.
Yep.
It was like kind of like this crazy thing. I'm sure Sony was like, oh my God,
this is great.
How did we do this? Yeah. They fucked up? Oh my God.
They gave it to us.
And then they just capitalized.
Oh, they ran with it.
And I don't think Sony ever makes a mistake again. I don't think they make the PS3 mistake again. I think they know exactly where they need to be with their consoles.
I think that entirely depends on who's developing the next generation and who's on like the development team and the lead team.
Well, it's always going to be...
no, but I'm saying like the people. Because people made those decisions. A corporation didn't make that choice. People did. So if those same people aren't there, then who's to stop new people from making old mistakes?
The lead is there. Cernic is there. Well, he's the head. He's head of R&D on all.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general, like for video game companies, like that's always a possibility. Mm-hmm. Like you can never discount the fact that they can go back and make old mistakes because of course people are dumb.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't think that the PlayStation 5 or whatever the fuck it's going to be called is going to ever go back to the ways of the PS3 because there's no need to, because now they're living in an environment where people have smart TVs, they're readily available, they're affordable. Mm-hmm. You just need a gaming console. Like I think probably the biggest change will be that you'll have a gaming console that's more powerful, comes with more onboard memory, and probably has
way better processing.
And my guess is that it'll likely have two really not exclusive, but two very important features, which is an ability to cross-play and also more friendly like live streaming of gaming. without having
which is already pretty friendly.
It's pretty friendly, but I'm sure that the community, and I don't know shit about live streaming gaming, so if we have listeners that do stuff on Twitch and shit like that, go ahead and comment, on the Instagram when we make a post about this episode,
for sure.
And let's talk about it, because I'd love to have that discussion with our listeners, but I'm sure that there's massive room for improvement. There's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement when it comes to stuff like that. But honestly, I think this generation coming up might be the last console generation. I mean, like, what do you think?
What do you mean the last console generation?
Think about it. This generation's lasted 6 years, and it's gonna really last 7, 8, right? Because they're not gonna support life. Yeah, they're gonna support it for another 2-3 years.
Yeah.
If not more. Like, they're still supporting the PS3.
But are you saying that, like, the PS5...
I'm saying, now, not everywhere in the U.S., and we're just talking about the U.S. right now. We're not talking about, because that's where we are.
Yeah.
Not everyone in the U.S. has the bandwidth to do, cloud processing and really have, like, game streaming be a thing. And that technology's, even for places that are have great bandwidth and have a great internet structure, there's still like latency and problems with cloud processing. But give it another 6 years, like, where do you think we're at? Like, all of this is evolving so fast that I think by the time we're at the end of the generation for the next group of consoles, we're really going to start moving away. I think Google Stadia is not a bad idea. I just think it's too early. I just think there's not enough people that it makes sense for. I think Google's coming into an industry and a market that they've never been in, and there are giants that are already established and are trusted, like Sony, Microsoft. Like, Microsoft came in at a good time, but Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are the three. And, like, I don't need Google and I don't need Apple, because Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo could do all the things that they could do anyway, and they will probably do them better, because now I have a dedicated console and I don't have to worry about processing. I don't have to worry about latency. I don't have to worry about my internet went out so I can't play a game. Like, no, I can play a game because I have my console here, So, I don't know. That's my take.
I would think that probably the next big leap with consoles, as far discounting Nintendo because they already do it, but I don't know, man. The only two ways I could see them like going anywhere different with consoles would be either complete at-home integration. So like the PlayStation 6 or whatever it'll be, like 2 generations from now, will just be Sony selling you a console integrated into a TV. And it just comes with a pair of controllers, and that's it.
That's a cool idea.
And everything's built in.
That's a cool idea.
You just... Whenever you want to get a game, there's no more physical media. You literally turn on your TV.
What if there's an option for a Sony TV and it comes with PlayStation?
And it's not just a Sony TV. No. Like, that is your PlayStation. Your PlayStation is your TV.
Exactly. Like, it comes built in. That'd be really cool.
And
that's the point where we don't have discs anymore. Right. We're getting there anyway.
Yeah, we're already moving there. But the other option that I would see would possibly be Microsoft and Sony looking at where Nintendo's at and saying, like, why can't we do a completely portable gaming system that's also capable of being home-based on a gigantic television? I don't think they would do that. I know Sony's already tried it with the PS Vita.
And the PSP.
And the PSP.
Oof, never forget that PSP.
And like all of their cool shit, how you can like download a game on your PlayStation and play it on your PS Vita and shit like that. So it's kind of like the Switch.
You could also play it on your computer,
right?
Because you can remote
exactly
into your.
So there's already like that kind of mobile, and I'm doing the air quotes for this. That sort of mobile gaming sort of already exists. I know Microsoft hasn't touched it with a 10-foot pole, and I don't think they're going to.
I don't think
because it's just not their jazz. I get it.
Like, and Nintendo has to make concessions with power when it comes to the Switch, because it's a smaller thing. You have to fit a lot smaller parts in it.
Their games look really good though.
But
I saw you playing Breath of the Wild.
That's because Nintendo knows exactly how to work with the power they're given. And I mean, look at the trailer for Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
the art style is gorgeous, right? But like, they do that on purpose. Like, that art style is there on purpose because it allows it. The fidelity that it has is because of the art style they chose.
But I've seen other games. Yeah, but I've seen other games that are like third-party like games, like people playing fucking like Diablo, like people playing Diablo 3 on the Switch, and it looks amazing.
Yeah,
for what it is, it looks great.
Yeah, the only time that you really see the difference is like when you play like a really big title, like Doom.
Yes.
Like, you play it on the Switch and you're like,
okay, this is nice.
Yeah, it's doable for sure. But like, if you were looking for the best option, you'd play on Xbox or
But I'm
PS4.
playing on a fucking PS4 Pro or a 4K TV or a PC, and you're just like, yo, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's honestly, those would be the two paths that I would think would be, as far as I can see.
I didn't even think of the TV one. That's cool.
Would be integrated at home thing.
That'd be really cool.
You know, that'd be
I thought you were initially talking about like a smart house. I was like, what do you mean integrated at home?
Yeah, I mean, but that's just it. Like integrated.
Shout out to Smart House.
Shout out to Smart House. One of the best Disney movies of all time.
Oh God, so good.
So, but yeah, going back to what I said though at the top of the show about Apple and their fucking $1,000 monitor stand.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Okay,
really
so
quick?
I think it was, I don't know if the Apple Developers Conference was the thing that just passed where they announced it, but they're releasing a new screen, not a computer. Well, they are releasing a computer, which is the Mac Pro, which used to be, this previous generation was the garbage can, the glass garbage can. Now they're going back to the cheese grater from like the old like G4 days.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right. So it's a really pretty cheese grater. It's their most powerful computer ever.
Yeah.
But
way too expensive.
Right. No, I think the computer itself is, I think, like $6,000.
For fucking nothing.
Yeah, dude. Do you know how powerful a PC could be if it had $6,000 worth of stuff in it?
You could recreate the same exact power of that Mac probably for like what, $2,000?
I could simulate the known seeable universe on a $6,000 PC if I wanted to. So the computer is sold separately from the monitor, obviously, as is with PCs. However, how fucking ever, the monitor that now comes with it, which is I think called like the Pro XDR or something like that.
Markety words. Add letters to it.
That monitor is $5,000. The stand.
Does it let you see the fucking future?
I would hope so. The stand. This is a literal just chunk of metal that was CNC'd in order to hold this monitor, is $1,000.
So if you want the monitor and monitor stand that is, air quotes, supposed to come with this fucking computer, you need to spend the same amount you would spend on the computer.
Yeah, it's going to be like about a
12,000. So you need to spend
with tax
a 2015 Honda Civic to get this fucking computer.
Pretty much. Yep. However, and I've seen a lot of the comments on Reddit, and they make a lot of sense. Some people were saying like, listen, Apple is not directing this towards you. Towards its average consumer who's at most gonna shell out maybe $900 to $1,100 on an iPhone. Yeah. But that's about it. Maybe they have like a 2 or 3 year old like MacBook or something like that at home that they use for school or just for bullshit or whatever.
Porn.
Porn basically. They're not marketing that towards you. They're marketing this towards people who, for a living, successfully do graphic design, video editing, audio editing, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're also marketing at design houses, places that are going to say like, well, this fiscal year, we have the capital to upgrade our machines for our artists. So we're going to drop $30,000, $40,000. We're going to do a business order with Apple, and we're going to order 6 or 7 of these machines with the monitors, with the stands. And that's going to mean that the output of our artists is going to be that much better, which will then therefore pay for the machines.
No, yeah, people will buy it.
This is a business move.
Yeah,
they're not marketing this towards the average Joe that walks into an Apple store.
Yeah,
at all.
this is an industry, like this is a corporate sale.
But still, $1,000 for a chunk of aluminum. No, fucking no.
But people pay it.
They will, but no, stop.
People pay it. But it's for corporations. It's for the affluent.
And it's gonna look nice
because there are people that are gonna buy it.
Which, side note, I call it a cheese grater because the front of it looks like a cheese grater, but the stand and the screen with the computer together, it's a pretty looking setup. Like Apple knows how to design some aesthetically pleasing shit.
It looks like you're in the future,
right? But
you're just like, oh, I'm in the future. Cool.
At the same time, it's like, guys, calm down with the pricing a little. It's $1,000. How much did it take you to CNC that thing?
But that's also like, also what makes Apple like great is that exclusivity based on price, that paywall. Because that's what makes it Apple, right? Because once you make something cheap and everyone has it, no one wants it. Because now everyone has it.
Yeah, I guess, but
that's like the thought process or the psychology behind
that old axiom of business.
Yeah,
supply and demand.
But so moving away from that because it's infuriating.
It literally makes my blood pressure rise.
Aluminum should not cost that much. Also, a monitor shouldn't cost that much. Like your monitor shouldn't cost more than a fucking 4K 85-inch
TV.
Yeah.
Because for that's just I make that my monitor.
Exactly. God. So, don't know what's happening at Xbox, but excited to see.
Yeah,
some stuff.
Way to go, Microsoft. I hope they come out with some cool stuff.
EA, we don't care about. When do you think we hear
about a new console?
Next
year, Christmas.
No, do you think that's when they start talking about it next year, Christmas?
No,
or you think they start talking about it earlier in the year?
We'll hear. There will be a measured release,
March.
Almost like a drip, probably March-ish.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. End of their fiscal, end of their 2019 fiscal year.
Yeah, I think that's when we start to get what people like to call the leaks.
Ooh.
So
the leaks.
What we'll probably hear won't be anything about design. We'll hear probably first about more or less what R&D is working with as far as onboard storage space when it launches. What kind of possible processors are they looking at using? Is there any carryover equipment from the current generation?
Well, now we'll hold on. We already have leaks for that.
Do we know?
Yes. So they had an R&D press conference, right? It was like a business press conference, or it was for, I don't know if it was for stockholders or if it was just like a general.
It wasn't for the
conference.
Plebeians.
Yeah, it wasn't for you fucking plebeians.
The villagers.
But they did a side-by-side comparison of the processing power that they're looking at.
And is it out of control?
Oh, out of control. So you look
like running 5 PS4s at once.
What they did was they took the cityscape from Spider-Man or PS4. And what they basically did was they had the camera speed up at intervals going through the city, right? So it's just like a freeform camera flying through the city, up and down the streets of New York. And it has intervals where it starts speeding up. To show you like, okay, so it can basically in real time
all the data.
In real time, yeah, like generate all like the surroundings.
Okay.
The PS4 processing would take 8 seconds at certain points for it to like, it would have to basically freeze. It would take 8 seconds and then
catch up.
Okay. The PS5 processing was
never skips.
Dude, it didn't miss a beat, and it started flying through like Neo going through the fucking.
Oh wow,
like
that's
Neo
a good
flying
visual.
through the fucking city. Yeah. Like unbelievable,
and
just
being able to just
great.
process everything that's coming its way. Holy shit!
Without, mind you, this is PS4 graphics.
But was this a PS4 Pro or a standard PS4?
Pro.
So the Pro. Wow. Pro.
Yeah, with the addition. I mean, the Pro doesn't really process much faster.
I guess, but still, if you're gonna compare apples to apples,
exactly,
that's the best way to do it.
But the processing looks like it's gonna be. Mind you, this isn't final processing, but they also talked about having solid state, 2 terabytes of solid state.
Thank God.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what they didn't talk about price. They didn't talk about aesthetic. They didn't talk about any of that.
How much do you think a new PS5 would cost?
I think they'd go 4.
You think 4?
I think 4.
I don't know why the number 700 popped into my head for some reason.
Oh, way too expensive. Who's gonna buy that?
No,
I'm not gonna buy that.
I won't. I'll steal it before I buy it.
Dude, get the fuck out of here. $700? No way. Not to mention, you've made a truckload of fucking money.
Oh my God.
Off the PS4, because every time you've lowered the price on a previous SKU, they come out with a newer SKU at a higher price.
Yep.
Like
they've
just been making money.
They made money hand over fist on the
I think
PS4.
It's what, the 5th highest selling console? Yep. Right at this point?
I mean, listen, still, shout out to Sony. You guys hold the record for the highest selling console of all time with the PS2.
Mm-hmm. Always and forever.
Yep.
But that's also because it was a DVD player.
It was, but it was also like that library of games.
It was incredible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But those first sales where it was like, oh, I could buy a DVD player for $100 or spend like $100 extra and also get a PlayStation. Like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Okay.
Dude, I remember the first time we got a PS2. I got a PS2 like 2 years after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Black Friday. It's the only time I've ever actually gotten something on Black Friday. My mom took me to the Best Buy on Kendall and 127, right next to where Michael's and Barnes & Noble's is.
Mm-hmm.
We got there at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. This is back before Best Buy would be like, we're opening at 4. They opened at like human hours back then.
Oh, okay. Black Friday at Best Buy is a thing.
Yeah, no, it was a
whole thing.
But we got there at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. There was fucking pandemonium. Mom,
of course.
My mom was like, go find the PS4, get a game that you want to get with it, and we're out of here.
Run.
Yo, I seriously found a PS4. Listen to me, a PS2. I went in, I got the PS2, and the one game I found on the way out was a copy of Ace Combat 3. I hadn't played an Ace Combat since my PlayStation 1 days, so I was
not my thing, but I know, you like plants.
I do like plants. And I grabbed that, and that was the beginning of a love affair. An absolute love affair.
Ace Combat. I don't get it, but I'm glad you do.
It was all right. It was a good game.
So
I had a good time. And then just the library of games that I collected afterwards.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
dude, Midnight Club, fucking Need for Speed Underground 2.
Dude, Devil May Cry, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh, my Lord.
Silent Hill 2. Are you kidding me right now?
My heart
These
right now.
are just like...
This is our childhood. Kingdom
games.
Hearts 1.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's all right. Not as good as 1. Don't even look at me. It was not nearly as good as Kingdom Hearts 1.
I can't even look at you.
You can turn off your mic and get the fuck out of my house right now.
Can't even look at your eyes.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Kingdom Hearts 1 was better.
2 is better. 2's
One
the
is
best
better.
one.
No, it's not.
2's the best
100%.
one. With the fucking dress system. Yes, not dress system, but like the outfit thing.
Listen, we're
the
gonna,
different forms.
We'll turn this into a poll
dude.
on Instagram, by the way. Yeah. For like the 8 people
let's let the people decide.
For like the 8 people that listen to the podcast.
Let them eat cake. And vote.
So...
But yeah, Sony, I don't think we see anything yet. I think you're right. Till March.
I think till March, probably.
We have Death Stranding.
Finally got a release date.
Supposedly come out this year.
I mean, listen, Hideous Kojima, as I like to call him sometimes.
Dude, I love that man so much.
He's a strange boy, but he makes some good games. Oh, man, is he good at storytelling.
Dude, Death Stranding looks so fucking good.
Although, you know what? Somebody made a joke on Reddit the other day where they put that gif of the main character climbing over a ladder. And,
yes.
They were like, after years of making games about snakes, he finally makes one about ladders. The internet's a beautiful place.
Hideo, you son of a bitch!
It looks very interesting. The gameplay is not what I thought it would be based on some of the old like videos that they put out about it. Like
what did you think it was gonna be like?
I thought it was gonna be some like weirdly paranormal, like future sci-fi, like ghost hunting.
It kind of is. And it kind of isn't.
I don't know. The fact that I'm carrying a baby and a bubble of Jello with me,
dude,
and I have literally the world's largest, most ridiculous backpack.
Well, there's so apparently like that other world you go to that those like the invisible creatures come from.
Yeah, they start pulling people down through tar pits.
Hades, and it is a place that is apparently always in conflict. So like it's a constant war all the time, and then that world is leaking into our world. That's like that effect is when a bunch, like an entire group of like whales basically beaches themselves for no fucking reason, and they just all die. They just all choose to die. So like there's a lot of themes with like transitioning and like the difference between worlds and stuff like that. It's all the Hideo Kojima fucking weirdness and craziness and symbolism, and it's just like it, but it's him untethered. Because now he doesn't have Konami going like,
no,
it has to be Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. Like,
Metal Gear Solid 29.
Oh, is that's the original idea? You have Make It About Snake.
Can you put a bandana on it? All characters must now have bandanas that are ludicrously long. Like this is the fucking...
Is Ocelot in this one? God damn it.
Damn it. Put 2 of him now. Clone him.
So he's basically been untethered. It's also amazing what he's done with that engine. Because that's the Horizon engine.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. He went... So him and... what's his name? Andrew... who's the guy in charge of fucking PlayStation? Andrew...
You got me on that one, bro.
Andrew House. They basically went a tour of all the Sony first-party studios. Hideo did with him. And so he could basically, like all the studios that were willing would show him their engine because he didn't have time. He spent all that time at Konami making the engine that they finally used for Metal Gear Solid 5. And then obviously Konami owns that engine.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to take it. So he needed like an engine fix. So he went to all the studios, and Gorilla was the engine he liked the most. So and
that makes me so happy.
I know. And they were like, "Dude, please, by all means, use it." And all the gameplay that you've seen and stuff like that—that's all in the Gorilla engine, and it looks beautiful. And he's made it his own. And it's and the turnaround that he's had on this game is kind of crazy.
It's been pretty.
Because people were like, "Oh, we're not gonna get this game till 2021."
And then he's suddenly like, "Hey, by the way, there's a release date. You're getting it. You're getting it in 12 minutes." Stand by.
Which is how long was he working or like thinking about this game? Before leaving Konami.
If you've seen like the write-ups for the interviews where they've asked him like, "Oh, how long do you storyboard for like a Metal Gear game?" And he talked about like how long he had the idea for Metal Gear Solid.
I've been storyboarding since birth.
I came out already with a notepad. But like there's an interview somewhere.
And a Swedish shirt.
In a Swedish shirt?
He likes to tease shit with like, he'll wear a shirt that has like something in like Swedish or
but it'll be like
Dutch or like whatever the fuck.
About the game.
Yeah, it'll have like, or it'll be a name or something. People like, what? They'll translate and be like, what? And then it'll make sense when he actually talks about. It's like, I've been teasing it the whole time.
There was an interview with him years ago where they asked him like, oh, how long did it take you to write the story for Metal Gear Solid? And he's like, when Metal Gears were still coming out on like the SNES, he's like, I was already storyboarding for Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my
and then
God.
when I saw the PlayStation come out and, you know, we were at Konami and we were like, yo, this thing has great graphics. He was like, I gotta do things. I gotta run now. And he started writing. And then boom, they released arguably one of the greatest stealth combat games in the history of video gamedom.
Oh yeah. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2, I still remember just spending hours upon hours playing that fucking game. And then going back to my PlayStation like 1 and playing Metal Gear Solid, the original.
It will still always stay in my head, that visual of the first ever teaser release video for Metal Gear Solid 2 for Sons of the Patriots of Snake on the fucking bridge.
Sons of Liberty.
Or Sons of Liberty, sorry. Where he's on the bridge in the rain poncho. And he just jumps off the fucking San Francisco bridge into the fucking river. And they're all like, what the fuck? What do we do? That's such a good game. Oh, such a good game. And then, I mean, granted, to me, the greatest of all time was Snake Eater. But I think at that point, Snake Eater was also all of the best elements of the previous Metal Gears. And then they were like, why don't we run with it and also make a cadre of wacky bosses?
Wasn't
the
Snake
pain,
Eater,
the suffering, all
wasn't
that.
People really divisive amongst like fans?
I'm sure
like,
it
a
was.
lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't.
I don't remember it being, but
I never played Snake Eater.
So to give you an idea of also the kind of cool shit that they did with the PS2 on Snake Eater, there was this one boss that was an old Russian sniper.
Oh, I remember this.
I forgot his name. I think it was like the
crow or something like that.
No. He had a pet parrot. I think he was like what was it called? I think he was like I don't remember what the fuck. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up while you talk about it.
But basically, the boss fight was that you were in this huge forest area and you had to go find him and fight him, right? Otherwise, he'd kill you with his ancient, fucking Mosin Nagant sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And there were write-ups on how to do it, like, because in the game you could throw rocks and stuff like that. And you could scare his parrot away from him. So if you could find the parrot either squawking or flying away, you knew where he was.
Was it the fear, the fury, or the sorrow? The end?
He's the end. That's the one. He's
the end?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But, and this is why I love the internet, somebody figured out that fucking Kojima, however you pronounce it.
Kojima, dude. Kojima.
Him and Konami had basically done this thing where you could go into your PS2 settings and you could save, fast forward the clock like a week or something like that. Like tell your PS4 that it's actually a week in the future.
Yeah.
And when you load back in, it would just be a cutscene that you had waited him out and he had died of old age.
So brilliant.
And you could literally just go up, get the thing, and then go about your time.
So brilliant.
Yeah.
Also, here's a picture of the end.
Let me see. Yep, that's the one.
Also,
the tiniest little feet.
I mean, even with the PS1, like the Psycho Mantis fight, like knowing that your controller was plugged into fucking the first spot, like the fact that someone would think of that.
I forgot about that, where they're like, place your controller on the ground, and it would just and move, and you're like, oh my god,
dude. Where he was like, how does he know what the fuck I'm doing? How the fuck does he know what I'm doing?
Dude,
so crazy.
That shit was great.
I remember
the Psycho Mantis fight.
I think there was also
he was a good villain.
Psycho Mantis is great.
He's a great villain. God.
I think there was also a rumor that Kojima in the SNES days wanted to create like a game that had to do with like the positioning of the sun, like, and there was like certain times of the day that like something would work. Like it was weird.
They come up with some weird theories,
dude. Like no, but he had like mentioned it. I think in an interview or something like that. You could look it up, but there was something where it had to do with like some kind of positioning of the sun, some kind of like celestial position.
I'm sure they could probably do something fucking pretty dope with that.
Oh, for sure now. But yeah, so that's coming out. That's super exciting.
Yep.
And then Nintendo, they talked about Pokemon, which I'm a fucking Pokemon.
What's
nerd.
going on with Pokemon? Because I haven't.
They just showed more stuff for Pokemon, and they have a release date
for what game?
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay. That's the thing.
You're not a big Pokemon person, right?
I used to be as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I grew up with the original 151. So like I think the last Pokemon I played was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a little bit less maybe. I went to GameStop and I picked up a copy of, I think it was Omega Ruby.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I tried playing it. I got like 4 hours into the game and never touched it again.
Oh, really? Just couldn't do it?
I don't know, man. Like
I love
it's a part of my childhood, and a part of that is remembering playing it on my bright lime green Game Boy Color. And like that's how I remember Pokemon. I don't remember it in 3D with bright colors everywhere and
I do. I love
all this different like all these, and I don't like the design of the new Pokemon. They all seem so like soft and cartoonish and childish. Like I remember,
yeah, but they always were.
No, not really. If you look like, for instance, if you look at like there was a thing on Reddit the other day, somebody posted a picture where they showed like a side by side comparison of 3 like random Pokemon from the 151 versus 3 new Pokemon from Sword and Shield that have been talked about already. And like there's one that looks like Vulpix, right? There's like a little dog, but it doesn't have like on Vulpix you could see the 3 little individual toes on Vulpix, right? And they were like sharp, angular, looked like an animal. Yeah. The new one looks like a cartoon. Like it just has like nubs for feet that look like they're like touching the ground.
But there hasn't been a dog shown yet for Sword and Shield.
I said it looks something like
There's
like
the only one I could think of that maybe was like Wooloo, but that's like a sheep Pokemon. It just looks like a sheep.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll find you the photo, but
yeah, please do, because it might not have been from Sword and Shield. It might have been from another gen.
Right.
But
the point is that they showed all these different Pokemon, like the old ones versus the new ones, and the new ones just look like some shitty Cartoon Network fucking cartoon that they're like, yeah, let's just make everything round and super bright colors and like. That's what I liked about the Pokemon that I grew up with is they looked like actual monsters. They looked like creatures that I'd find like in the real world. You know, like Pikachu's based off of a mouse.
Kind of, yeah. But
you know, like Charizard's obviously a dragon.
They're about to get to 1,000+ Pokemon. Like,
that's fine. They could have 1 million+ Pokemon. That's for me. That's not
gonna. Look at this bad boy.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Corviknight, motherfucker.
It's like a giant.
Guy looks dope, huh? He is a giant. He's a raven.
But see, like, look, I like the fact that with this, he has like actual fucking feet. He looks like a bird. He looks like a ghost version of Pidgey or some shit like that.
Looks dope, dude.
But.
Ugh, I want Corviknight.
I just, like I grew up with.
Also, the fan art coming out for Corviknight is astonishing.
Ooh, that guy looks.
People are in love. Also, people love that Wooloo. This is Wooloo. This is the new sheep Pokemon. So
what is the big thing about Wooloo? Wasn't there already an electric sheep Pokemon?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. This starts getting into like competitive Pokemon play and what normal types mean and normal stabs. Is it going to be a good wall? Is it going to be like, so like there's just different things. Also, it's a cute design. People love kawaii. People go crazy for kawaii. They do. And this little sheep thing,
is as kawaii as it gets.
Yeah, you want to live inside of its fucking wool
forever.
And it's just beautiful. And
it's a Miyazaki creature at this point.
Pretty much.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really excited about Pokemon. But I'm more excited because I really think Nintendo has my heart this year. I'm more excited for Nintendo games coming out this year.
I'm jelly that I don't have a Switch yet.
Dude, that's because producer don't want to let you get it.
Well, no.
Producer's waiting.
She'll let me get one.
As long as it's covered in Animal Crossing.
I have to just fucking buy an Animal Crossing sticker pack on Amazon and just be like,
stick it. Babe, look,
they came out with one. I got one early release beta.
Just spray paint Animal Crossing on it.
With a crayon, though.
Yeah.
The R in reverse.
Like a Deadpool. Like,
oh my God.
Animal.
I mean, I want one mainly to play 3 games. I want to play Stardew Valley because it seems so relaxing. Don't give me that fucking face.
I don't. Those aren't my kind of games. Animal Crossing is not my kind of game.
I don't give a shit about Animal Crossing. That's all. That's
it's
all
the same
her.
shit. Stardew Valley is just like deeper.
That's what I want. It's adult Animal Crossing, which I like.
Yeah, it takes a little bit more.
But I want to do that. I want to play Diablo 3 with you and with some of my friends because that would be fun.
So good. I can't buy Diablo 3 for the 3rd time though.
You can if I buy it. We'll play together. It'll be how we play D&D together. Okay. The other game I want to get is actually a game that, and I have a friend who listens to this. Shout out to my boy Gabe.
Yo, what's up, Gabe?
A
lot of G names.
Yeah, a lot, right?
Yeah.
He told me about this game called, I forget what the fuck it is. I think it's like Tire Slip or Slippery Tire. I forget what the fuck it's called. It's got those words in it. But it's basically about mudding in trucks. But it's not just like, woo, let's go get stuck. No. Like, you drive like a ye olde Russian like logging truck, like a military logging truck. You have to load up a bunch of like cargo, and then you have fuel. Like you have a limited set of fuel. There are weather, like there's inclement weather that can change the terrain. So like you can be driving on dirt and you're like, this isn't so bad. Rain, now it's mud. Don't get stuck. You have to like winch yourself on trees and shit and like pull yourself out of stuff.
This does not sound
You can play with friends who like get in like Jeeps and they're scouts. So they'll go ahead of you and they'll scout the best route for you to go drop off your shit. It's like a thinking game, but I like it because I like cars. I like trucks. I like off-roading.
Just go be a trucker.
No.
just go do this in real life.
No.
If you can't tell, Elias loves vehicles.
I do.
Of every fashion.
Yeah, I do love cars. They make me happy.
The 3 games that I'm looking forward to for Switch.
Floored too?
Okay. Are Link's Awakening.
That looks really fun. You know, I've never actually played a Zelda game. Ever. James gave me a look right now like he's about to just press stop on the recording and just drag me by my ear to Best Buy and force me to play. Like the demo that they have. I've never played a Zelda game.
You need to play Link to the Past. You need to play Ocarina.
Is there well, hold on. No, I lied.
There's no chronological order.
I have played momentarily Majora's Mask when I was a kid. I played for like an hour.
You need to play Ocarina before you play Majora's. Majora's is a great game. I really like Majora's Mask. And a lot of people don't like Majora's Mask. I love Majora's Mask.
If someone was going to pick up a Switch, like let's say I pick up a Switch today, and I had a choice between Breath of the Wild and waiting for Link's Awakening, do I have to wait for one, or can I just start playing one and just go?
You can play Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild is very different. It's not a traditional Zelda game. A lot of people don't like it because of the fact that it's not a traditional Zelda game. They changed a lot of things. I really like it. And to be totally honest, I love Breath of the Wild for the simple reason that it got me back into Nintendo. I hadn't been a Nintendo owner or fan in a very long time.
I also want to buy Mario Party.
Because
I got to play it recently, and it is a stupid amount of fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yep.
Mario Party, very fun. Mario Kart, very fun. Smash owns my life. I play Smash every day.
I'm hot trash at Smash.
Oh, I'm getting better.
See what I did there with the rhyming?
Hot trash at Smash.
Yeah.
It's like when we were warming up, and I did the Tex-Mex Rex.
Yes,
Tex,
that's right.
Rex. But yeah, I love Smash. So that's what I play all the time. And then I'm excited for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm excited for Link's Awakening. And there was another one coming out this year that I really want to play. Oh my God. I'm like spacing hard.
You were also partying really hard last night, so that's probably why.
My brain is like totally fucking fried. I'm hungover as shit right now.
Yeah, it's made of boiled carrots. But you've had 2 cups of coffee and you had a breakfast sandwich.
I've had 3 cups of coffee and a breakfast sandwich.
Where was the third one?
I had 2 at the hotel.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
I had 1 in my room, and then I bought 1 when I bought the sandwich, and then I had 1 when I got here. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Damn.
So excited about those 3 for me.
Hey, did you ever play that? It came out for the Switch. I think it was like Mario Universe or something like that?
Came out for the Switch?
Yeah. Wasn't there like some like open world like
Odyssey?
Well, that's what it was. Odyssey.
Yeah, it was like the newest.
It's like Mario Super 64.
It's the main like Mario game. Yeah.
Right. How was it?
I loved it. I thought it was really good. I liked Galaxy more because I think it gave you more. Like there was more to do. Not to say that there wasn't a lot to do in Odyssey, but like I don't know.
You know what I would love to play again?
Galaxy was just a good balance.
I would love for them to not re-release, but come out with a sequel to Paper Mario. I loved Paper Mario.
I would love for them to release another Paper Mario.
Paper Mario was such a good game.
I love RPGs. Like, if you give me an RPG, I'm going to fucking play it.
But it was cool. It was like a side-scrolling.
And it was like a play.
Yes.
It was like the curtain.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I had a great time.
The aesthetic was beautiful.
It was.
Nintendo's so good with their art styles. Like, fucking Yoshi, what was it called? The yarn one. Or like the aesthetic where like everything was made of yarn.
Yes, I remember which
one. But it looked so good. Like Link's Awakening is the same thing. It just looks so good. The art styles are just fucking, they're pretty. Even Breath of the Wild I think looks beautiful.
It does.
Breath of the Wild's really pretty.
So yeah, man. That's
I think that's all the major ones. And then obviously I'm excited about Square Enix talking about Avengers.
What?
Oh, did you not?
I'm about to fucking find out.
So Square Enix about 2 years ago made like this announcement on Twitter. Super random. And it was like this really quick little trailer, and it had basically, you saw Captain America's shield, you saw Thor's hammer, you saw Iron Man's mask, you saw like Iron Man's helmet, you saw like a bunch of shit, like Avengers related. And then it's like, oh, we'll talk about this eventually. So apparently they're way more ready to talk about it. And Square Enix is developing an Avengers game.
What the actual fuck?
What the actual fuck? I don't know what the fuck it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be an RPG. I don't know what it is, but it's Square and they're making it.
That sounds dope.
And they're also doing the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh, thank God, finally.
Which I think they're ready to like talk about release date. I don't know if they've talked about it yet. It's been a crazy weekend. I've been staying at the beach. So.
I will disappear down a black hole when that comes out.
And it's not so the remake isn't turn-based like the original. It's a little more, it's similar to Final Fantasy 15, so it's action
you kind of run around and like hit stuff.
I'm not mad at it.
No, that's kind of cool though.
It's kind of cool.
I like that. I'm glad that it's not a 1-for-1 remake. Although
I wouldn't be mad at that either. To be totally honest.
But I like that. It's kind of like the way that Capcom did they didn't do a 1-for-1 remake for Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't have the what are they called the isometric static cameras.
I kind of want to replay that game now.
Which one?
Resident Evil 2 remake. That game is so fucking good.
It's amazing.
That game is so fucking good.
I stopped playing because I'm literally scared of what's one part that I'm in right now, where like when I walk out of the room where I saved,
there's a liquor.
There's a liquor in the hallway, which is the direction I have to go, and I have no ammo. And then what's his name? The Mr. X is coming down the fucking stairs. Mm-hmm. Oh God, Jesus, bro.
He's a motherfucker, dude.
Butthole puckering.
Oh, dude, he's a motherfucker.
Oh God.
Did you shoot his hat off?
I did.
Okay, good.
The first time I met him, pew, pew. Yeah.
The first time I met him, I was just trying to hurt him.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you can't actually hurt him. That he just takes a knee.
Yeah, it's basically like you can hit him enough for him to like stop moving for a second, so you can get away.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the worst when you turn a corner and he's right there.
Hi.
You're like, oh, and he punches you in the fucking mouth,
and you die.
Yeah. But yeah, that game's fucking great. But yeah, so it's not a 1-for-1. It's definitely going to be different. But man, I don't know if you've watched like the trailers that they've put out so far. But seeing those characters in like fully realized HD is unreal.
The last time I saw anything involving Final Fantasy VII was when I watched Advent Children when it came out.
Oh my God. Dude, watch these. I'm gonna fucking send you the link for them when we're done here, so you can watch them.
Please do.
And you see fucking Aerith talking to fucking Cloud, like running into Cloud. You're just like,
here's the love story all over again. I'm a kid again.
And they're beautiful. And they look great.
That's how I heard that people felt about Pokemon on the Switch. How it was like the remake of was like Pokemon Yellow, basically.
Oh, Let's Go, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically Pokemon Yellow.
Looks great
on the Switch.
Looks amazing.
Which I'd be down to play that. Like that would be how I'd get back into like Pokemon is like, okay, this is the game I remember, but now the way that it looked in my head as a child, real.
The only thing is, that game was made to bring Pokemon Go players in. So here's how it goes. There's no random encounters. The Pokemon live in the overworld, so you see them moving around, and then you can run into them and fight.
Okay.
But you don't fight them. You just catch them. So it's like Pokemon Go. When you get into an encounter with a wild Pokemon, you just catch. The only time you fight is against a trainer or a gym leader. Now, I know. I don't like that either. For all of you that don't know what that sound was, that was Elias dropping his microphone in frustration. His head in his hands. Look, from the beginning, there's a reason it's called Let's Go. It's supposed to bring casual Go players in.
Oh, okay. I thought it was called Let's Go because you put the fucking controller for that.
Let's get out of here. I'm done.
Fucking done with you people.
It's still fun. It's still awesome to see all of the original gym leaders in like this great graphics. It's the same exact story as Yellow. You get to see Pikachu on your fucking shoulders. You run around the world.
All right.
It's not bad.
I'll give it a shot.
It is a little boring when you're running around and it's just catching. Because you get to the screen, it's like, okay, just throw the ball.
Go,
yeah, just throw the ball. But at the end of the day, when you do fight a trainer and stuff, it's fun. It's Pokemon at that point.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Fine.
But Sword and Shield is going to be more. It's going to be Pokemon. It's going to be traditional. It's going to be wild encounters. It's going to be stuff like that. And they also have raid battles now, which is kind of cool.
What is a raid battle?
So in Pokemon Go, this was the first time you see it. In Pokemon Go, there are these things called raid Pokemon, and they're basically Pokemon who are unbelievably strong, and you would need like a team of people to take them down. Once you defeat the Pokemon as a big group, you all have the ability or the chance to catch it. And it's like their IVs are really good, and they're usually pretty rare Pokemon. Right. So in this game, they kind of have the same thing, but it involves what's called the Dynamax system. So it's like, you know how each Pokemon game that comes out, I don't know if you know this, but each Pokemon game that comes out has like a gimmick in its battle system.
I think the last one I ever played was the one with the Mega Evolutions.
There you go. So that's black and white.
Yes.
Or X and Y.
No, it's actually X and Y. That was pretty cool.
Mega Evolution's very cool. The thing is, they never keep the same gimmick and evolve on it. They just replace the gimmick.
It's a new one every time.
I'm like, but I don't want. Like, I like the Mega Evolutions. That was cool. It was cool to give these Pokemon like a new way to fight.
And it almost makes a new Pokemon.
Exactly. And then Sun and Moon was Z moves, so it was like this one crazy move you could do or whatever. And then now it's called Dynamaxing, which is, so I get the theme is stadiums, right? So when you fight a gym leader, you fight them in a stadium. And a Dynamax, you can Dynamax one of your Pokemon in a fight. And the Dynamaxing lasts for 3 turns, but they basically turn colossal. They're massive.
So just a giant 80-foot Pikachu.
Yes. And then they have a different moveset while they're in that state. It lasts for 3 turns, and they're super strong and super, like, they get buffs or whatever. But it's like, the thing is, it's like this crazy experience if you're at the stadium, because you get to see these fucking Godzilla-like Pokemon go at it, or whatever. And so that's this thing's gimmick is Dynamaxing.
Okay, you have my attention.
Now, raid battles are against Dynamax Pokemon. But it's cool because now it's a mainline Pokemon game, but you get together with friends and you can go raid.
And this is going to be Sword and Shield.
You can go raid battles, yes. Sword and Shield.
All right. When is that coming out?
November 15th. So we have a solid release date.
And you and the rest of the group?
I'm buying it so hard.
Okay.
Oh, it's like
so it's basically Pokemon co-op.
At certain points, yes. Not the whole game.
Right.
But at certain points. Also, they've introduced what's called wild areas. So the areas between the towns are now open world areas where you control camera. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I like the changes that they've made that I'm like, awesome.
Yeah, they want to make it like a group experience at this point almost.
Yeah, and they're evolving, which is really cool. And I've always been a Pokemon fan. I'm always going to be a Pokemon fan. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm also excited to see what Square has to do with that and Avengers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm down.
But it's definitely not as hype this year, I feel.
Nah, I think that's also because a lot of these developers have kind of found that they can just hold their own press conference, and they can control the show.
Yep. All of Bethesda.
Yep. So whatever, go them. You know, I mean, maybe we're gonna get to a point eventually where we don't need E3 anymore.
No, I think that's it's coming fast and loose, man.
Yeah.
You could do look at what Nintendo's. Nintendo is the perfect presentation style.
I almost prefer it now
pre-recorded, edited.
Well, like in the sense that like I want the developers to have their own shows throughout the year instead of everybody gets together for 3 days and it's chaos. Like I like the fact that I can say like, oh, well, this developer has something like almost like in the springtime. 2 or 3 of them are going to have something in the summer, and then somebody else is going to have something in the fall or the winter. So like all year long, I get like this cool constant stream from my favorite developers and manufacturers about like what's coming out, what are they doing new, what are they improving on. That's fucking dope. I prefer that instead of having to be like waiting like a fucking crack addict for June, for June and be like, oh my God, it's going to be good. And then it ends up sucking maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And it usually ends up sucking because live presentations like that are really awkward. Like it's like these are like a corporate.
I remember
fucking game developers.
I forget what game it was a few years ago that like Microsoft got caught with their pants down. That they're like, this is live game footage rendered on the fucking Xbox. It was garbage, yeah. And literally the camera zoomed out, and if you looked in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, it wasn't being run on an Xbox. It was being run on a PC.
Yeah.
And people were like, holy
liars,
lies,
street rat.
Oh God.
All
right. Well.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Oh, and then the last thing about press conferences. No, the last thing about press conferences, really quick, is I love the big press conferences from like Sony and Microsoft and all that stuff. But like, just do it like Nintendo's. Pre-record it, have a scripted thing, and then just show
Nintendo's
games.
one is called what, like the Treehouse, right?
The directs. No, Treehouse is where you go play the games.
Oh, okay, that's right.
The direct is like their conference, and then they do directs for like they have specific like they had a Pokemon direct, they had a Mario Maker direct, they had, and they do it that way.
And you know, Millie's gonna be looking forward for the Animal Crossing direct.
No, they're gonna have an Animal Crossing.
That's huge, dude. It's been what, like 6 years since New Leaf, I think.
E3 is just. It's good for people to go and play the games that are coming out. That's cool. Go do that. But like for press conferences, like stop doing live. Just pre-record the press conference.
Tailor your experience.
Yeah,
please.
Everyone streams it now anyway, so it's like just fucking do that. Yeah. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's fine. That's it. I'm done.
That's it. Are you done? All right.
I'm done.
What are you doing for the rest of the day?
I'm driving back to the beach, hanging out with my wife.
What time do you guys come back from the beach?
I'm leave right after this.
No, I'm saying, what time do you guys come back from the beach?
Tomorrow after work.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're going straight from work from there, and then we're back home.
Okay.
Monday afternoon.
Sweet.
Yeah, but she's been working the entire weekend, man. She's been crazy. So today's finally at 2, she's out. She's done. So I'm going to race back there now and spend time with her and relax and enjoy.
We're finally going to, we're leaving like right after this. We're going to get dressed and we're going to head out to the Florida Keys outlet,
quote unquote,
is in a fucking Florida City.
Marketing.
Yeah, wonderful place to get stabbed, by the way, Florida City.
Yeah, it's a great place to get stabbed. Beautiful vistas.
Only the finest.
Yeah, only the finest stab vistas.
So we're gonna go and we're gonna do what y'all did. We're gonna get a bunch of shoes. Might get some new jeans because I heard there's a Levi's outlet over there.
There's a Levi's outlet. There's a Coach outlet. There's
a lot of the Coach outlet. I'm oddly looking forward to.
Yeah, they have a. Speaking of gaming, they have gaming themed stuff. So.
That's what you were telling me before the show.
So Millie's probably gonna have a shit fit. She'll probably buy some.
Whatever.
It's all discounted.
I got some extra guac I can spend. I want new shoes and I want new fucking.
Got that guac money?
Yeah.
You got that extra
a little
guac
bit.
money?
Not a lot, but I got
$2 extra. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If I'm asking you for it, it's because I can fucking afford it.
Yeah. So stop judging me, okay?
It's not a surprise that any of this is extra.
Put the guac.
Keep going.
In the cup.
In the cup. Put that shit on my sandwich, bitch.
Oh my god.
In
Directly on this. Oh my god.
Yeah, in the cup.
Such a millennial.
I try to be.
Well,
that's about it, right?
I think that's going to do it for this real video game nerd.
This is going to be a good one.
Episode of the Dairy
A lot of information for this one.
Random shit. We are going to be doing some cool new things.
July is going to be a hot month.
July is going to be a hot month, and we're really looking forward to see how you guys like it and how you receive it. It's going to be something new for both of us. We've never done this before. The only thing I really want to say right now is look forward to a post Comic-Con treat. If you know anything about comic books or Comic-Con or you like any of that stuff or art
stuff,
we're going to be doing something kind of cool with that.
Yeah.
So we don't have a solid date yet or anything like that, but look forward to it. We'll make an announcement coming up.
It's going to be I'm pretty sure you guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be something a little bit different from what we normally do. It is going to be roughly the same length as our normal episode, so about an hour and change. So this will be perfectly fine for your commute or eating shit at home. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be dope.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's something that's going to be pretty special.
So that being said, shoppers, if you could please take all your purchases to the front.
This has been another episode of The Dairy Aisle.
This is Eli.
This is James.
Thanks for listening, guys.